Am I the asshole if I never speak to my dad again? Pretty dramatic title, and it is going to be a fairly long story. I will try to make it as short as possible, but this has been an ongoing thing for over 2 years now, and there is a lot of relevant information needed for backstory. To give some minor backstory, my dad has never been the best dad, not the worst, but definitely not the best. Yes, he always spent time with my brother and me, made us soups and sandwiches on the weekends, coached our soccer and baseball teams growing up, helped us study, and took us camping on the weekends, but he always had something critical to say while doing it. When practicing for baseball or soccer, my dad would always tell us we had to do better. We had to throw harder, in a straighter line. We had to hit the ball better, swing the bat more straight. No matter what, we still felt it was not good enough for him. When we got older and had homework and our dad would help us, he would spend the whole time calling my brother and me stupid, but he took it out the most on my brother with constant insults and the R slur. Now sure, my brother was never the best in school, but he has been diagnosed with borderline autism spectrum disorder, which has been a huge barrier to his learning, and my dad refuses to acknowledge it. He has never been physical or hit anyone, aside from one time he punched me when I was 17 years old to show how my play punches were hurting him, which he did not tell me until after he hit me. But he always has this accusatory tone that makes you feel guilty no matter what you do. Now on to the start of events. Around June 2023, my dad left my mom. I, a female, was 19, almost 20, at the time when this happened. Even though he moved out, he kept coming by the house every night to eat family dinners, play board games, sit on the couch and watch family movies, and continued to sleep with my mom. I know this because I always grab a glass of water before bed and I have heard them. He basically acted like everything was the same, but he lived in a townhouse. I assume it is because he wanted to hook up with people while still being with my mom, but I cannot confirm nor deny. After a few months of this routine of us still being a family, not being a family, some stuff hit the fan. It was September 2023, and I was looking through my emails on the family computer. I had just applied to dental assisting school, so I had been religiously checking my emails for acceptance or requirements. One day, as I was checking my emails, a notification popped up from my dad's email, which was still connected to the computer at the time. I saw it was from a girl, let's call her Tracy Bundy, and it said something along the lines of, "I miss you and want to..." Then the message cut off. I probably should have minded my business, but I clicked on the notification, which took me to my dad's Facebook messages between him and a 21-year-old girl, my and my brother's age, and the first thing I saw right at the top was a nude photo from her. I could not stop myself from reading their messages. Without getting into too much detail, he wanted to do ketamine with her and start a relationship with her. But since she is an escort, she only wanted his money. After reading these messages, I was reminded of a moment back in January when I was sitting on the couch with my dad and saw he got a text from a Tracy. At the time, I thought nothing of it, as we know a few people with that name, but I realized in this moment that my dad had been cheating on my mom for a while, with an escort, the same age as her children. I immediately texted him, more angrily than rationally, that I thought it was gross, bordering on pedophilia. Then I told my mom. She was heartbroken, of course, but my dad's response? He texted back saying, "I'm sorry you had to find those messages, but love doesn't have an age as long as you're mature and not accountable to your parents," which I thought was a disgusting excuse. After that, even I do not know how, but we forgave him, my brother, mom, and me, and let him come over for my birthday in October. After that, he visited every couple of times a month, but it would always be him coming over to watch movies on the couch with my mom. After I moved out for college, September 2024, my relationship with my dad was already strained. But when I came back home to visit one weekend, I agreed to grab dinner with him to catch up. After I had gotten ready for dinner, my brother came into my room and gave me a heads up that my dad had ambushed him into meeting his girlfriend by saying he just wanted to take him out for dinner. He had been casually dating this girl for months already, and I only knew about her from my mom, who was told by a family member. I called my dad after that and straight up asked, "Is your girlfriend going to be there? Because I'm not ready to meet her." And he said back, "I'm in such a dark place. My whole family has turned their back on me because everyone found out he cheated, and I just need some family right now. So I felt bad and went. I drove to his place, and we all rode in my dad's truck together to the restaurant. He did not look like he was in a dark place at all, by the way. When we got there, his girlfriend was trying to make conversation with me. Let's call her Annabelle. Now, do not get me wrong. Annabelle is a sweet, kind person. She is a teacher, well-educated, an LGBTQ ally, and a feminist. All the opposite of my dad. He has openly spoken to me about how he does not believe transgender people should be allowed to transition. I let that slide at the time as I excused it as being part of his midlife crisis, though I debated him hard about it all the time. And I know if his girlfriend knew this, she would not be with him. I am pretty sure she still does not know the real him, or he is manipulating her. I do not know, and I do not care. This is going to be my longest point, but the most crucial to remember for later context. February 2025. I had barely spoken to my dad at this point, but I got a text from my aunt saying his girlfriend was throwing him a birthday party at the golf range and wanted to invite me. She knows the whole situation and said she reserved a table for her kids that happens to be away from my dad, in case I wanted some space. I said yes to the invite, as at this point my mom and brother were the only people who had met my, at the time, recent boyfriend, and I thought this would be a good time to introduce him to my family, including my dad. I was a little nervous going into it, as my dad had always taken the time to ask my boyfriends about their life, and I had prepped my boyfriend on everything my dad might ask him. But when we showed up, my dad gave me a hug, asked my boyfriend, "How have you been doing lately?" Then turned his back to us and walked away to his girlfriend and her daughter. If I had known the daughter would be there, I would not have come, as that is another milestone I was not ready for. My boyfriend and I sat with my cousins for the most part, until my dad came over to chat, which really meant he wanted to introduce me to Annabelle's daughter. I was kind to her, as she is 11 years old and none of this is her fault, but my dad hugged her and held her like he used to do with me as a kid, and it really bothered me. Probably due to my own personal insecurities, but also partly because it felt like he was rubbing his new daughter in my face. After introducing us, he said he had to go hold his round, then left me with her. Again. She was a sweet, kind girl who just wanted to chat and chat and chat, but I was not ready to meet her, and now I was practically babysitting her. In the end, when we left, my boyfriend was ranting the whole ride home while rubbing my arm, telling me he is sorry that this is my dad. This all made me really start to distance myself, but after getting a call from my brother late last month, April, I realized I may want to cut my dad off completely. My brother told me that he and our dad had been fighting over text for a few days and read me some of their messages, paraphrasing as I do not remember them word for word. "Brother, you are barely acting like a dad. I heard about your party and how you barely spoke to me or my boyfriend the entire time. It is like you did not care to meet him at all." "Dad, are you kidding? I spoke to you and your boyfriend several times during the party, but it is not my fault they picked the furthest table to sit at. I talked to your boyfriend a lot and got to have a good catch-up with you and made many attempts to make them feel included. We even made dinner plans after for the three of us, but I guess it never went through." I literally laughed after my brother read the text to me because it was all straight-up lies. He only said a few words to my boyfriend. When he came over the one time, it was to introduce me to Annabelle's daughter, and he never said anything about dinner plans. My dad texted a lot of other things, but one that stood out was about how he is a good dad because he was our soccer and baseball coach when he could have left sooner. I do not know about you all, but not leaving is not the definition of a good dad. Plus, he has been acting like the victim and denying facts, so who is to say he would even listen? So am I the asshole if I ghost my dad and never text him again?